mostly the front office, front access, patient access, where registration, the insurance mapping, how to take an appointment, so how to start a consultation, the episode encounter concept, and things like that were visible to us. We did identify some gaps also and some weaknesses that are there in the application. And the idea was that whatever is right now available, we can sort of think about what mandatory fields we can do, play around with, what can we add as validations, what can we set up as constant field rather than having, like, for example, variable copay. It shouldn't be variable, and there should be no human intervention. There should be like a standard plans already created, and there should be a workaround for that part also. Some fields, if they're not mandatory, they should be made mandatory. Some unnecessary fields should be removed. These things are there that we have seen so far. And we've also come to the pre-authorization screen, where we saw that there are different statuses of pre-authorization that people are doing and working. Most of the things are in place, but still there can be some improvements that people can do, whether it comes to the clinical documentation and whatnot, in order to make the UCAF better for them, at least till the 6 months till Nafis comes in. And then parallelly have a plan that will also take care of the Nafis touch points at XML tags, so that when it goes automatically also, the claim would be suffice to get you a approval back. So today, the subject is going to be rather to yesterday we saw how approvals are coming back. So let's see how the billing of those approvals are done. If not that, if cash billing is done, how cash billing is done. How to take a manual approval if we have to. How to override an approval. Let's say you have an insurance doctor in the facility, and if he overrides an approval, that is a possibility. You can do that. So that part also. How do you take care of that part? And then finally we will see the cash collection scenario, how people are opening the shift, how they're collecting this thing, how does the chief accountant come at the end of the day and close everyone's shifts, and identify that there is a variance in the amount, that okay, Usama, you're supposed to give me 1000 reals, but you're giving me only 900, so 100 reals is negative on your account. And then the next day it's extra, so it gets tallied. How does all these things affect? And then we will take a small dive onto the reports also today, to just make sure that this thing is done. This way we will completely finish that part of the thing, and then the next session could be like claim management, statement level things and all. So today we will try to cover only the middle layer of cash collection and of service billing and all these things. So let's start. Okay, so today we are going to play around with into three modules: patient management, uh, accounts, and reports. Like I said, we're going to be playing around with these ones, so we'll try to look into all these ones only. Now I'm gonna go into patient management, and let's take the patient that we saw yesterday. Okay, so for example, we had one of the patients that we were looking at yesterday, Mohammad Qasim. Let's try to see if that patient is still here, and if he is, then we'll try to build something. So in yesterday's scenario, there were two services that this patient had, and we sort of build one and rejected one, sorry, or approved one and rejected one. The idea is that how can I see the approved part? How can I build the approved part now? And how can I sort of see the rejected item, and what happens next? How do I convert that into cash, and how do I make it pay? So today we're going to observe the third tab, that is service delivery. Any billing of services done to the patient will happen at this one. Consultation billing happens on encounter. Patient information is just information and updates and all those things of the patient. And service delivery is where you go and bill any services, lab, radiology, whatever it is. You'll find all those services billing here. Now, if you, there are two tabs, these two tabs people use hand in hand together because there are multiple reasons for it. So I'm just going to explain to you what the screen means. Last time we saw, I'll expand this, hold on. Okay, last time we saw that there were why this thing is blinking, because there is a due amount, and we can see why that there is a due amount of 15 riyals that this patient has to give back to us. Right now, I can show you that this is an OP credit visit of the patient. This is episode number 5, encounter number 1. That is, he started an episode. This is his fifth episode to the hospital that he's come for, and with Dr. Hani from cardiology, and he's using Tawania's plan, which is 20% max testing. The button next to this one as if I click on this, gives me a brief of what I showed you on session number 1. That is Mr. Tahir's forte screens, where you can see the plan, you can see all this information. The reason why this screen is over here is so that the guy sitting on the reception can also take a brief look at what is covered, what is not covered, in case he wants to clarify things. So he wants to build something that is not even ordered by the doctor as of now. He can sort of take a look at that right now. So you see what they're doing. For this particular patient, they have seen that, okay, per episode he can bill 1,000. His limit is 1,000 at gross amount. The amount that the patient has so far availed is already 1624, which means what? That he's already gone beyond. Probably built some things already, and he's already gone beyond that limit, and that's why his every item that after this is going to be need approval. This per episode limit of 1,000 is on consultation, consumables, pharmacy, and services. The rule that we discussed on day 1, if you remember. Service limits. If I go here. Again, I can see the service limits, and what is need approval, what does not need approval over here. Tariff details, if I go, I can. Tariff details is nothing but the same screen that shows you that what discount you have and all these things, stuff like that. So if I see that the net amount is getting deferred, and I can't understand, then I can always come back and see that, okay, because DMFH dermatology procedures have 30% discount on outpatient, that's why the amount is discounted. So this is something that that someone can take a peek at. Nothing can be changed, nothing can be edited over here, but it's just more like a view for the people to understand. All right. Insurance approvals. So I can also see that what is approved, what is not approved. So for example, for this particular person, there are two things. There was an ECG and an echo done. If you remember, in our last visit, we approved the ECG, and that's why you see there's an approval number, response number, and it says that it's approved. And the other one was rejected. And we also identified that in rejection, we should have had a reason, but there was no option. There was a remarks box. But ideally, it should be mandatory and it should be able to be filled or attached to a document, but there was no option of attachment. So there was an option to attach the approval documents, and if you remember, I took a screenshot briefly and attached it. This is that screenshot, if you remember. So there you go. That's your approval document in case someone wants to see it. So that's there. Because many times what happens is the approval is partial in dental, and the patient is going to argue with the reception that no, it should be fully covered, and then they can show this approval document, that look at this approval document, it says that it's only partially approved. That is the reason why it's there. Let's look at the episode scenario now. It's if you want to know that what are the past episodes, or let's say this patient is doing 2 treatment together. He's come for his physio and he's doing his dental at the same time. So there's going to be some confusion, right? If he comes to the common reception, that which billing you want to do. You want to do the billing for physio, or you're doing it for the dental part. This is a good place because you can click on this one. And sorry. Okay. You can click on the encounters and you can see what is going on right now. So this is an active encounter. Of course, you can see cardiology that is going on, and it's and he came on 16th November for that. But if I want to see the past ones, okay, and I want to build something under that, I can click on this box. I close encounter and see it shows me. So these are the closed encounters of earlier, which are there, and I can always go and see what does closed encounters mean. If you remember the other day, we said that if the episode has crossed 14 days and the period has been completed, then it's going to be a closed encounter, right? And then you can't bill anything because it's going to be moved to a statement. Even if I try to click on these items, it's not that you can't click on it and you can't build things under it. You can only if that particular claim or invoice has not been added to a statement, or it has not been submitted to a statement. If that is there, then yes, you can go and add some more things onto it because you still have time. But if it is part of a statement and already submitted, then you can't do anything changes to that. and it's going to block you. System is going to give you an error and tell you that no, you can't proceed with any billing because this particular old invoice, old encounter of yours that you're trying to bill under has already been submitted to the insurance company. So you can't make any changes to that. That's a good part also. So there cannot be any lapse or revenue leak or something like that. You won't have that issue. Anyway, so that's how you see. There's another good feature also that it shows, but I'm not entirely sure whether or not it works. That is the pending service orders. This means that in the previous encounters, if doctors have ordered certain things and the patient has not yet availed those services, there are some services that are still pending to be billed. If you click on this, it automatically filters. So you don't have to go to each encounter and check that is there anything here, is there anything here? No. All you have to do is just click on the pending service orders and it will sort of filter for you and give it to you. I haven't, I can't confirm the authenticity of this point, but it is a feature that they created, and I'm not sure, but how well it works. Anyways, I'm going to double click on this one, cardiology, anyways, and still continue to do whatever I was doing. Now, a timestamp. If you want to move the timestamp, this thing can be edited, can be changed also. Right now, if I try to bill anything, even though this encounter is for 14th of November, this bill date is going to be 12th of Jan. So many times this happens. So backdate billing is something that they used to do. Okay. Ideally, financially, if you say it should not be allowed, so that there is no malpractice or whatever. But this was one of the field also that they used to follow. If you want to, from this particular screen, look at the clinical reports or something like that, yes, you can do that. You can click on this button. It's a very small icon, so you'll get lost. That's why I'm pay attention on this one. There are two icons over here. One is that opens the clinical report, the lab report, so you can directly see the lab results. And the other one next to it is EMR. I'll show you that also, so you can see the EMR also. Okay, so see, clinical reports are up here. If I click on all, there you go. So it shows that these are the clinical reports of the patient, lab results of the patients, and you can see the ones that are abnormal and highlighted. If I browse on it, it tells me that it's an abnormal value and so on. Same thing goes for EMR, the button next to it on the extreme right. If I click on that, it opens the EMR, which means I can click on any of the reports and I can view it. So for example, Dr. Hani wrote a note on 16th of November. I want to click on that. I want to click on it and see what he had written. Okay. So I can see the history of present illness. I can see the allergies that were recorded, clinical warnings, consultation reply. So this was a consultation reply of cardiology. It was not the actual consultation. That means this was a referral, and we can see that clearly. And then he's given orders of two things. He's given orders for CPOE, means computerized physician order entry. I'm sure most of you already know that. But the order was for an ECG, and the proposed date was 16 November, and there was an echo proposed date was 16 November also. These two orders. So this is the extra information that you can see sort of on the screen. Now let's come and see over here what all we wanted to see. What it shows here is that there is already a box where it shows Dr. Hani has an order for you. If I click on this, what is 5-1? 5th episode, first encounter. Okay, that's the breakup of it. That's why it's 5-1. Okay. If I click, when I clicked on this arrow here, when I clicked on this small arrow next to Honey, it sort of opens two boxes for me. That there are some other services and clinical services. This is the categorization of the service. So imagine if there was a lab and radiology, you would have seen lab radiology. You get me? So that's just the breakup of it. Why? In one bill, if you want only labs, and another bill you want only radiology, this is the reason because why this is there. If I click on only other procedures, check what happens. Only that particular section's service will come. But if I click on Hani itself and I say that just bill all the services together, so I can do that as well. You see, now both the services are on the same bill, and I can do that easily. So that's it. I've shown it. Now let's try to build these services. Okay. as a matter of fact, you must have understood already that billing the ECG, now that approval is there, it's not a big deal, right? So automatically the green checkbox is done. This means that bill this, and it's already checked. The value is 374, but we are going to be collecting 52 reals. Answer is why? Because there is a co-payment that is required, and we are taking the co-payment from the patient. All right. So that's the catch. So we're going to build this service for the patient. The echo, however, is yellow. Yellow means rejected. There is one point that you can arbitrate with Kameda, is that in the screen of the reception, the color of rejected item is yellow. But if you remember, in the screen of the approval, the color of the rejected item was purple. Uh, I can't really fathom why they did not realize this, and why the different colors are there. Because in the mindset of people, when operations are going on, these colors should be like triggers, right? If I saw yellow color line, I should know that, oh, this is a rejected item. But this kind of confusion can always create some errors, at least in adapting to this thing. So just keep in mind on this one that it's yellow in the billing screen, but it's purple in the approval screen. That's one annoying thing. Anyway, so now to build the rejected item, of course, I can't build if you see the item is gray. Even if I double click on it, it doesn't allow me to do that. The only thing that I can do is convert this into a. So I have two options here. As a privileged person, okay, this is not with everyone. So this is like a privileged person. I can either say that this is included or this is excluded. Bill as exclusion. When I say inclusion means what? That consider this part like ECG. Consider this like ECG. It is as if that it is covered by the insurance company, and I'm doing this. This sometimes the insurance doctor on the facility, he tells you that yeah, bill it. Don't worry, I will get it on the claim. We have enough justification to claim it. Don't worry about it. Just convert it. This is my experience that I'm telling you to do it. So that happens. But mostly now, in going forward, we should always do everything with approval. So that's uh, that's questionable, depending on the experience of certain doctors. Anyways, now I want to build this as cash. So of course, I'm going to say to exclusion and bill it. So if I click on to exclusion, I'm going to reason right over here, rejected item. Okay. And the patient, and I can now click on this. Once now, when I click on it, it takes the full price of this one. And notice now it's taking the hospital price. There is no sponsored discount or whatsoever. You see, sponsor is 0. This is completely the hospital price, and he's going to pay it completely by himself. Okay. Remember when we were browsing through the insurance details, there was a 30% discount. So it's 1100, and after the 30% discount, it comes down to 770 for the patient. So there is a benefit that the patient is taking from the price list. So now we have these two services. All I have to do is click on the save button to build this service. Same screen that we saw a day before or something. So where you will have all this billing to be done, and it's very straightforward. So that's not a problem. One second. All right. Here you can take it by cash, you can take it by card, and whatever. And remember the doubt that I had last time. Okay, that people are not are collecting by card, but they are not mentioning it in this area, or they're not recording the span details and things like that, which creates an issue. So that should be one thing that can be improved over here. One of the annoying thing over here is that, let's say if the patient says that I want to pay by card, I'm going to go to card and I'm going to try to select the provider and all these things. Selection of these things is one annoying thing, first of all. Secondly, amount over here. I need not have to write the amount again and again. I don't want to do this. Okay, I don't want to do this thingy. You see, it's very annoying to sort of to type the information here and get things done. So this should be something that should be fixed. They should not have it like this. They should have a better process for this one. The amount that you need to mention over here is